All right, everyone, welcome back into another NBA props video. Going to be touching on the top prop bets in the NBA today. Let's go ahead and get into it. And so looking at it, guys, let's just start off with what the board is telling us are going to be the best prop bets that we have today. And so right now we got Cameron Johnson for under his fantasy score. We had Deandre Ayton for under 1.5 turnovers. Draymond Green for under 10.5 rebounds and assists. You know, we don't have that many great prop bets is really what this is showing me and really what this is telling me right now on paper. Now, there are going to be some bets that I personally like as well. I got 10 right here that I'm about to list off here for you guys. So let's start with those. So one bet that I really don't mind would be Bennedict Mathurin to get over his fantasy score. Now, that's not going to be popping up here right now because we don't have his full allotment of stats to give a proper fantasy score kind of edge ranking. Obviously, the 9-to-5 PrizePicks cheat sheet and the underdog cheat sheet is going to be based off of Vegas odds likelihood to hit. You know, that's how we gain that edge on PrizePicks and underdog. And so I'm guessing, you know, probably turnovers is not pulling up here or blocks is not pulling up as a Vegas data point just yet. So we don't have that full allotment to give a proper fantasy score line. That being said, I'd like it just in the simple fact that if we look at something like Bennedict Mathurin over PRA, and we can see by looking at this that his over PRA on underdog is going to be a good bet, that his fantasy score of only being at 21 to me seems to be a little bit too low. We can see thus far this season he's been able to go 2 for 2 in this matchup. It's actually a pretty good matchup going against the 76ers as well, a matchup that obviously the Sixers are without Paul George and Joel Embiid. Kind of struggling, I would say, lately. Maxey hasn't been able to get going as well. Maybe the Pacers blow out the Sixers. But the thing with Mathurin is, how many minutes is he going to get? That's the biggest question. I think we can assume about 28 minutes, assuming that the game stays close enough for long enough. Not exactly the shooting the basketball a lot as well. That is a slight concern to me. And he's not getting a lot of assists as well. Those are two concerning points. And so maybe been shooting the basketball a little bit efficiently. I like this bet. I want to target this bet. We're probably going to have some other better bets throughout this video, though. And so let's stick with this game. There is another spot that I like a decent amount, and that's going to be looking at Pascal Siakam to get over his fantasy score as well. If you guys like another bet, by all means, you can target that as well. I want to call it the minutes that he's been able to get, only getting, you know, in a close game, about 30 minutes. So again, we always are kind of looking at the potential for a game to be a blowout, and we do see that my kind of magic number to start worrying about a blowout is really 7 points. And really why we'd be concerned about that is a blowout really hurting the minutes of a player that we're going to be on to make a prop line that we're getting a little bit less predictable. And that's what we could get here for Pascal Siakam. The way to look at it is, will they get their final rotation or not? That can be a concern. He is projected to get 36 minutes, though. I would say that's probably a little bit too high. But if he does get those minutes, obviously the projection data really likes the over. And I'm saying that I do like the matchup. The matchup is pretty good. The 36.5 to me is actually a little bit too low. Now, the data does not exactly agree with that. If you guys want to target the matchup because it's a good matchup, points would be the best route to go when just looking at the Vegas lines that we currently have. Now, another matchup that I want to be able to target was going to be with Onyeka Okongwu going against the Oklahoma City Thunder, who really, through 2 games thus far, have not been that good at stopping opposing bigs. Now, that is something that could get corrected, maybe even this game as well. But Onyeka has been the one getting the most minutes between him and Clint Capella as well. Just a little bit more. And if we scroll down and see his kind of projected minutes, projected to get 23, so not a lot. We probably do need him to get closer to 25 if we're going to be targeting any of his overs. But I really don't mind the idea of doing his over PRA. Now, again, this is more of a bet that I like, more so than Vegas is going to like. And really, the projection data does not like this one as well. But I think it's worth calling out the minutes that he has gotten the last couple of games, 26 and 28 minutes in those games. Had a lot of shot attempts in the first game, 8 rebounds in both games thus far as well. If this is going to be a good matchup, an easier matchup, then I do think he could easily take advantage of the good matchup that we have in this game. Another player that I like in this game is actually going to be Trae Young, who has just had very high usage rate, has been really going off. Now, this is going to be a more difficult matchup going against the Thunder as well. So maybe he finally doesn't have a good game. But if we look at it, shooting the basketball a ton, 16 shot attempts in the first game, 24 shot attempts in the second game, but just getting to the free throw line a lot. If he continues to get to the free throw line that much, 10 plus times, he's going to continue to crush his over points to the point where you look at his PRA, and that becomes a bet that I personally really like. Now, again, this is going to be a slightly better bet on underdog, where we're seeing that they're pushing it down to 39.5. If we can gain those slight edges, let's do that. And so that's another one where, if you're targeting it, it's going to be a slightly better bet on underdog, but that's one that I like. It's basically a 50-50 split here, guys. So nothing like too crazy. I'm a little bit shocked that underdog actually bumped, or that PrizePicks actually bumped it to 40. There's no like logical reason other than, is this a popular bet? No, it's not. So yeah, and I'm not really sure. I mean, obviously I like it, but like looking at the Vegas lines, this shouldn't be a bet that got bumped. So that's strange. But let's continue on. One bet that is a popular bet that probably will get bumped is going to be looking at Deandre Ayton to get over 10.5 rebounds, just because of the amount of bets that are on here, guys. This is one that I like. So about 10K people agree with me here. Let's all be right together, right, guys? That'd be great. But again, if we look at kind of the Vegas lines, this one is only about a 51% chance to hit, so not elite here. We look at the minutes. Obviously, we really want those minutes to be there. About 32 is what he's projected to get. If he does get 32 minutes in this game, I do think that increases the likelihood for him to be able to get this over. If you look at it, the matchup is a little bit concerning. 6.5 points. Again, I start to really, truly worry about a blowout, changing minutes of players, leading to unpredictable performances at about 7. That's kind of just my golden rule. Helps me kind of narrow down some of the bets that I want to be on throughout the day. And so we're not exactly there, but it is close. But if we look at it, this team just faced each other and he was able to get to 15 rebounds in that game, played a bunch in that game as well. So I'm more than happy to do this over bet. Now, another popular bet that we currently have is Jordan Hawkins to get over 11 points as well. This is one where if it's currently available still on underdog at 10.5, by all means use that. I actually used that one with the underdog discounts that were out there for the day. If you guys haven't used that, by all means, go for it. At 11, though, no longer need to be targeting this one. But if it's still there at 10.5, by all means, let's target that one. You're going to see, though, that the projection data only likes him to get 8.5. And let's talk about why. And the reason why is just he's not exactly shooting the basketball all too much. 12 shot attempts last game is great. DeJounte Murray was out in that game. That's good. But if you look at game 1, only 9 shot attempts in that game. And obviously, we need him to shoot the basketball a little bit more as well. That is a little bit concerning. But with Murray out, again, I'm more than happy to do the 10.5 points that we are currently seeing. But he has been extremely efficient from the 3-ball range. And so maybe he just has a game where he goes 2 for 6. Obviously, you take away 3 points in the opening night, then he doesn't get the over. And obviously, I think that's why we have that line still there. But going against Portland, still kind of okay with it. I actually like the idea of targeting Brandon Ingram and CJ McCollum still. But the lines on CJ McCollum seem to be more correct. Whereas, day one, I kind of felt like these would be good spots for us if one of or both of Zion Williamson and also DeJounte Murray sit in game 1. Zion sat. We're going to have DeJounte Murray out in this game. And so I see no reason why we shouldn't be looking at Brandon Ingram for his overs. Like, he hasn't really even shot the basketball too well, but he is still shooting a bunch. 20-plus shot attempts in both games. The minutes have been there for him in both games as well. I like the idea of targeting Brandon Ingram's overs. Let's see which ones are going to be the best ones we should be targeting. And so maybe not fantasy score that is popping up as a under bet that has a 51% chance to hit, but there's not really any ones here that are like, we need to go out of our way to target per se. I actually don't mind the over fantasy score, but if we're targeting him, the one that I personally like the most is going to be his PRA. Okay, we have seen him shoot the basketball 20 plus times. Let's get to around 20 points, which obviously his line's at 19.5. The projection data still likes the over there as well. So I'm on board with either, but to me, the PRA banks in a little bit of assists that he can get. The line's at 5 there. I like that. Project to get 5.5 rebounds as well. So if we tack that on there, I think there's just a greater likelihood that he is able to get his over PRA than he is points. Maybe he has not as good of a night shooting, and maybe he makes up for that with rebounds and assists here. But regardless, that's going to be a good spot. Let's talk about another player that's really benefiting from an increased role with some of the starters out, and that's going to be James Harden. I guess it's the fact that they're underdogs in this game that's the reason why we're getting his lines. I would say a little bit too low. Look at his per 36 numbers from last year. They would all suggest that he should be able to get this over quite easily if he does get indeed these 37 minutes that he's projected to get as well. Now, sure, he could have a poor night shooting. And just looking at this right here, guys, where it's, add this up. This is 33 points and assists. Tack on 5 more rebounds. That's only 38.5. Like, I kind of get why the PRA is favored for the under. So maybe we just bet on points. Maybe we just bet on assists. Maybe we just bet on rebounds. And I guess when we compare it against the projection data, maybe the rebounds would be the best route to go. But we look at the lines that we're getting on him. Again, I really like the minutes that he's been getting. Last game against Denver didn't exactly shoot the basketball all too well in terms of from the field goal range, but he also had a bunch of free throws in that game, 12 for 13. I don't know. I don't exactly love banking on like free throws, to be honest with you guys, banking on the whistle to be there. But obviously had a bunch of rebounds in both games thus far. And again, that's been expected with his per 36 production as well. With Paul George no longer there, with Russell Westbrook no longer there, with Kawhi Leonard out. And so he is still someone I think we should be targeting. And whether it's PRA or whether it's rebounds, I'm happy to do that. And then I do just want to talk about two quick 3-ball prop bets that I like. Maxey to get over 2.5 3 balls, and also Norman Powell to get over 2.5 3 balls. We'll stay with the Clippers here since I was just talking about James Harden. Again, looking at the per 36 production from last year, it's no surprise that Norman Powell has kind of been the second guy, the next step after James Harden in terms of shot production, and he's shooting the basketball a bunch. In the first game, guys, 1 for 7, really just had a cold night shooting. Sure, that's fine, but he still shot 7 3 balls. So I like the fact that he did that. And then we look at last game, 7 for 11. So probably going to have more of the middle here, right? And more of the middle would probably be making 3 balls. And if he's going to be playing that much, again, I like that. But more importantly, if he's going to be shooting that much, I like that. And again, looking at all the per 36 production from last year, we did see Powell was consistently getting that over. And then, yes, we jump back into that early game. Maxey to get over 2.5 3 balls. Hasn't been playing all that well. Maybe he's struggling, to be the true number one, especially maybe with Tobias Harris no longer there to take a little bit of the workload away. But obviously Paul George will be back, and obviously Joel Embiid will be back. The thing with Maxey is the usage has been there. The shot attempts have been there as well. Really just needs to make one more. It just needs to have a good day shooting the basketball. We don't expect him to go 2 for 9. Don't expect him to go 2 for 12 again. Just needs one more. And I expect that today will be a better day for him to shoot. Just natural regressing back to his mean from last year. Should be able to get that over quite easily. And so real quickly, I do just want to pull up underdog bets here right now. If you guys want to use any of these, by all means, go for it. Obi Toppin to get over his 7.5 points is a decent bet right now. Gary Trent Jr. to get over 11.5 points is also a good one. We have Pat Connaughton to get 5 points. Basically, this just depends on him making 2 3 balls or not. He's going to get some open looks. Probably will make one. Just need another bucket elsewhere for him to at least get a push. So I don't mind that one. Obviously, Jordan Hawkins, again, if that one's still there, go for it. We got Alvarado to get over 4.5 points. That's okay. Don't exactly feel the need to go out that one. Not going to be targeting Maxey. Not going to be targeting Ayton personally. And, those are all going to be good bets. So while we go ahead and get into the bet today, do just remind you guys of the promo code that's currently going on the website. Use the promo code KEEPCASH and get 20% off your first 9 to 5 membership or your first month of your 9 to 5 membership. So take that $10 membership, already a great value, and change it into an $8 membership for the first month. So this was my first bet of the day using the PrizePicks cheat sheet. Again, Jordan Hawkins has been bumped on PrizePicks as I'm recording this, hasn't been bumped on Underdog. So still, if that one's there, go for that one, guys. In replacement of that, if we want to go James Harden over his rebounds, I'm happy to do that. I think that's a good one. And then Brandon Ingram for over 30.5 points, rebounds, and assists. If you want to do just points, you could do that. Do like Deandre Ayton to get over 10.5 rebounds. None of these are exactly EV bets, just as an FYI. Like, I want to point that out. These are all bets that I kind of like. Using Maxey in a 5-slip bet did not change the slip, just as an FYI as well. If you turn into a 6-slip bet, it is reducing the payout. So, maybe just choose your 5 favorite bets out of this slip as well. Then just a quick reminder, do like Anyika today. I do like Trae Young today. Obviously went over 10 bets that I like in this one. So by all means, jump on any of those. If you guys are playing on Flip or Sleeper, by all means, feel free to bet on any of these. Do you just want to call it the quick strategy as well behind what we're trying to do here, guys? Obviously, it'd be great to hit 10 bets each time or go 10 for 10 when I give out 10 bets. But realistically, my goal is to basically go 6 for 10 on a day, if that makes sense. Obviously, some days will be 4 for 10. Some days will be 8 for 10. Heck, maybe occasionally we will go 10 for 10. That's obviously extremely rare. But it's just trying to put our best foot forward each and every slate. And the reason why I don't mind maybe not going as EV heavy early on in the season is Vegas and really the public is more or less guessing on these rolls. And throughout the season, once we get more data points to go into it, the EV bets will be more fruitful as well. Vegas will be a little bit more correct. So I don't mind kind of just betting on where the minutes are going to be early on in the season, maybe trying to find some good lines that way. That's going to be all for this video, guys. Make sure to give a like and subscribe to the channel. Again, that does really help out the channel a lot. Comment your guys' favorite prop bet in the comment section below. Again, if you guys want access to the cheat sheet, head on over to 9to5sports.com. Get access to that for just $10 a month. Thank you guys for watching. Good luck. And as always, let's keep cashing.